Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a hell of a show. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to check out the DREAMERSPRO podcast that we have pinned in the comments below. And also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my handle is CTABANZ. Follow the channel as well. And check out and let's get into the topic. Anyway, we produced this show about I want to say we produced this show roughly about 3 weeks ago or so, 2 to 3 weeks ago. And the show was centered on a conversation that Vlad had on his platform where he was reacting to what Shannon Sharpe had to say in terms of the amount of money he made. We did the show just under 2 weeks ago, about 11 days ago. Shannon Sharpe had originally come out there and said that he said, if you think I made 500,000, double it. If you think I made $1 million, double it. If you think I made 2 million, double it, or something like that, or 3 million, double it, whatever. So basically, Shannon was essentially saying that he made about, I don't know, $6-7 million. Some people are saying $5 million. Whatever the case is, he made a lot of money. So Vlad, who's been on the internet and YouTube specifically for at least 12, 13, 14 years now. I don't know how long, but it's been a long time, at least 12 years. Vlad caught a whiff of those comments that Shannon Sharpe said, and he went on his show and said that with the 50 million views, there's absolutely no way that Shannon Sharpe made $5 million off of those 50 million views. We did a show about it. To my surprise, the show has almost 200,000 views, so people seem to be interested in it. So what happened yesterday, Vlad had on Ari Spears. And as they were doing the show, they decided to start talking about this Shannon Sharpe thing. And Vlad basically took it upon himself to essentially respond to people that were basically saying, because we did the show, we saw the comments, where people were basically saying in the comment section, oh, you're pocket watching, you're pocket watching, you're pocket watching. And we broke down that show. And I personally believe, I could be wrong, but I personally believe that Vlad saw the show that we produced because some of the points that he brought up kind of echoed some of the things that we said in our show. So yesterday on the show that they published, he basically fired back at Shannon and said, no, I did the numbers and the numbers aren't numbering. And that number doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So for those of you who didn't hear what Vlad had to say with his conversation with Ari Spears, we want to play the full audio of it so you listen to it in its entirety. So I want you guys to listen to that fully. And I'm going to come back and react to what he had to say. Take a listen to what Vlad had to say here yesterday in response to Shannon Sharpe making $5-6 million.
You know what's interesting? Because this kind of came out, the timing of it was a little interesting, but it wasn't intended. So what happened was, I had talked in a couple of interviews about how many views Shannon Sharpe got on that Katt Williams interview.
Like 34 million, right?
I think it was like 50-something million at this point. Yeah, it's gone up. It's gone up. And at the time, like me and Michael Blackson did an interview about this. And I basically said, you know, if I were to eyeball it based on YouTube, and I've been doing YouTube longer than anyone out there. Right? When YouTube first became a commercial enterprise in 2008, I jumped on it right away. So for 16 years, I've been following YouTube revenue. And I said, based on what I'm seeing, he probably made about $500,000 off that one interview at 50-something million views. Now, I had thrown that out there here and there. Now, I don't know whether Shannon was responding to me or not, or whether he was just putting it out there. But at one point, Shannon said that he's made more money off this Katt Williams interview than any year he's been in the NFL, and he lists out all his NFL years, and his biggest year was $5 million, right? And people are like, oh, Vlad's hating. Vlad's hating on Shannon. He's pocket watching. At the time that Shannon made that announcement, my interview hadn't even been recorded yet. You know, it was recorded before then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My whole thing was, but, you know, since it's out there, I'll go ahead and actually, you know, deal with it. Number one, when you throw numbers out there, you should expect people to pick them apart a little bit, right? If you want to put your salary out there, you want to put how much you make, and you don't actually put any, actually put the breakdowns of it, people are going to say what they're going to say. 50 million views on YouTube does not equate anywhere near $5 million. I'm not hating. This is just the reality. Now,
well, wait, I want to make sure I understand you. So I thought you said that based on the 50-something million views, he got 500,000.
Yeah, but he claimed he made more than 5 million.
Oh, he claims more than 5 million.
Yes, he put that out there himself.
Right. And you're saying that's bull.
The numbers aren't really numbering. Now, he put all this, he made like a big graphic on it, and it said like how many new followers he got on Instagram and how many Facebook followers he got and how many YouTube subscribers and everything else like that. And all the, some of it went on Spotify and everything else like that. Now, if you're counting intangibles like, oh, okay, 1 million followers is worth $1 million, or, so forth. Now, if you start bringing in soft numbers like that, maybe you can kind of mush it all together and justify that number. But if you look at actual money in your bank account based on views, based on advertising, there's no possible way that Katt Williams interview made over $5 million in cash in your bank account. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. Maybe 1/10 of that. And maybe I'm wrong. Shannon, you have my number. We used to talk. Hit me up and break it down to me. And if you prove me wrong, I'll publicly say I'm wrong. But what I'm saying is, since you put that out there yourself, not me, no one made you put it out there, 50-something million views does not equal $5 million. So everyone who's rushing to YouTube to suddenly do an interview that makes them $5 million, yeah, no. I don't think Mr. Beast even makes those type of numbers.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is someone who gets 50 million views a month on his YouTube channel. So,
and this is Mr. Beast?
This is me.
Oh.
I know what the I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. So everyone out there who thinks I'm hating on Shannon, look, if I told people I'm a billionaire and everyone's like, well, hold on, let's look into this, and they can prove that I'm right, then I'm going to have to hold that. I'm not a billionaire.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
How dare you have an opposing view?
How dare I go against someone putting out numbers into the world?
I wish people would stop with this overuse of
hating.
You're
hating.
It's like you're not allowed to have an opinion. You're not allowed to go against the grain. Right. How come when you go with the flow, it's, not viewed as a bad thing, but when you have an opinion and you go against the grain, you're a hater. You're bitter. You're jealous.
I'm jealous. Look, I'm happy that Shannon Sharpe had a really big interview and had another one with like Monique, another one with Steve Stout and everything else like that. He's doing his thing right now. I think this helps everyone as a whole. I've been doing it longer than he has, and he's on his run right now. Everyone has their run. Everyone stays hot. For 16 years, I've had my run.
Stay hot.
Not everyone stays hot.
Okay.
Oh, did I say everyone stays hot?
You said everyone stays hot.
Okay, no, not everyone stays hot. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
Not everyone stays hot. You have a run, and you got a whole bunch of hot interviews and hot things that come together, and you try to keep it up as long as possible. But sooner or later, hey, things kind of quell down again, and you got to reinvent yourself and figure things out.
So you heard what Vlad had to say there. He basically said that, listen, I did the calculation. I've been on YouTube for a very, very long time. And there's no way that Katt Williams interview made $5 million. He said there's no way. And if you listen to him, if you listen to it carefully, he was also saying, as someone that gets 50 million views a month, and then Aries Special, like, who? Shannon, he's like, no, me. I get 50 million views a month, which is true. Vlad gets about 50, sometimes 55, sometimes 60 million views a month. So he gets, Vlad gets a lot of views every single year. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Vlad probably gets 600 plus million views every single year, which does equate to millions and millions and millions of dollars. Obviously depends on how there are other things, but it's millions of dollars on his channel. So he brought up that point. Now, I want to get into something that we had, and I want to put it up for you guys here to see it, because Shannon posted this and he's actually pinned this on his channel. He spoke about the Katt Williams interview, and I want to show it to you. So it says full episode views. It said 61 million views with 320 million views across all CSS social channels, 1.6 million audio downloads, 110,000 people watched the premiere episode live, 1.4 million subscribers gained on YouTube, surpassing 2.9. Then he had 750,000 TikTok followers gained, surpassing 1.5 million. 1 million Facebook followers gained, surpassing 1.9 million. IG followers gained, surpassing 1.1 million. And 40x in terms of X followers gained, surpassing X follow Twitter, surpassing 139,000 followers. So you saw that there, right? Now, something to point out here. He mentioned Facebook followers, 1 million Facebook followers gained, surpassing 1.9 million. Something to point out quickly. Facebook, you can monetize your content there, and you can make revenue. Now, how much money he made on Facebook, I have no idea. Let's say he made a nice penny or two on there, a nice amount of money. But does that equate to 5 million? Well, Marco is the co-founder of DREAMERSPRO. We sat down and we really tried to go through the numbers ourselves and try to make some sense of all of this, because the sports media landscape in terms of revenue in the independent space is it's like a secret. Only a few people know, and they pretty much keep that information close to the chest. They don't really reveal that information. So Marco and I kind of went through the numbers and we're like, well, how did he actually make $5-6 million, right? And we came to the conclusion that, because I think the full interview in terms of the clips got over 100 million views, but still that doesn't equate to $5 million. So Marco did some research and Marco was able to find some information that I think is not being discussed here. And I think that maybe Vlad is unaware of it. I'm sure he could, again, find this information easily based on his connects and his experience in the field. But there's a part of it, however, that maybe some people are not aware of, which is this. So Marco did some research, and essentially what Marco was able to unearth was that particular show that Shannon Sharpe did, the Katt Williams interview show. As I aforementioned, it got 1.6 million downloads. Now, Marco was able to pinpoint the sponsor of that episode. And as it turns out, the sponsor, hear me carefully, the sponsor of that episode was DraftKings. I repeat it once more. And you can go hunt this down on I think he found it on Apple Music or something. But anyway, the sponsor of that particular show is DraftKings. Now, what I think Vlad is alluding to is he's talking about the YouTube ad revenue. The YouTube ad revenue, 61 million views. There's no way in God's green earth you're making $4 or $5 million on that. You can cross that out. Someone came and said YouTube pays you $25 per thousand. No, they said they pay you $30,000 for a million views. I'm like, okay, fine. They pay you $30,000. Fantastic. But that's not the truth. And there's no way that number could even equate. So what I think Vlad is not factoring in is the downloads. And downloads are more valuable than views. I'll repeat it once more. Downloads are more valuable than views for a few reasons. Number one, because of the RSS feed. Number two, because it's easier for advertisers to track how their ad is performing. YouTube is a little bit different. Number three, it's very, very hard to get a lot of downloads. If I put up the graphic for you again, you will see that the episode got 61 million views. And it got 320 million views across all social channels. Okay? 320 million views. What percentage is 1.6 million on 320 million views? Hell, let's just leave it to YouTube views. What percentage is 1.6 million on 61 million? It's not even a percent. It's like a decimal point something of a percent. It's that small. So it shows you how hard it is to get 1.6 million views, downloads. For you to get 1.6 million downloads, you need 61 million views. It's a totally different ballgame. And that's why I believe Shannon made most of his money. And the people that get the real money, like the Joe Rogans, let me see. Some people are saying Joe Rogan gets about 11 million downloads per episode. Now, let me just pull up Joe Rogan, Spotify deal. He just signed a new deal for $250 million. And he's just coming off of $100+ million deal. So those are the big boys, right? Those are the very big boys. So it's very hard to do. So I think maybe that number is there. But Vlad isn't backing off, right? Vlad isn't backing off. I already know how people are going to react. Oh, he's hating and all of this, which is fine. People have a right to their opinion. I just wanted to discuss this topic more from the business side of it and leave it up to you guys to decide what you will of what was said. So these are my thoughts. What I want to know from you guys: what do you think about today's show? What do you think about our analysis? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.